Notre Dame, that was a good year. If I would have said back in that weekend when they lost to Northern Illinois, they're going to play for a national championship, you probably would have thought, not this year. Ohio State beating Michigan, and if I would have said after that game, hey, don't worry, they're going to win the national title. After they lost to Michigan, they're going to win the national title. You have these moments. The question is, how do you react after those moments, after those games? Notre Dame reacted and won and continued to win. And Marcus Freeman is a star in the sport. Ryan Day, the embattled Ryan Day, you lose to Michigan again. If you don't have a 12-team playoff, you may not have Ryan Day winning a national championship this year. In fact, you probably don't. But this is college football now. Who knows what it's going to be like next year or in 5 years from now. But give credit to Ohio State because they were the better team last night. When it was 31-7, I kept thinking, all right, Ohio State, just maybe another field goal so I can go to bed. And then all of a sudden, here comes Notre Dame. And then here comes Notre Dame. And then all of a sudden, I'm going, what's the point spread? 8.5. Oh, my goodness. Now I'm watching. And I thought, if they don't get that 3rd and 9 when they throw it to Jeremiah Smith, now all of a sudden you got some people going, all right, there's a lot of money. The cover of the year when you think about it. It's 31-7, and you're going, I'm good. All these Ohio State fans, they laid the 8.5. They're like, this is going to be a blowout. Halftime, high-fiving each other. Yeah. Hey, I got your beers. Marcus Freeman comes out, second half, Notre Dame head coach. He looked like he had just been in the washing machine. It was like, what just happened? And then they got a couple of plays, made it interesting, and Ohio State did what they needed to do with a crucial, going for it, 3rd and 9. Here's Ryan Day with that call on the completion to Jeremiah Smith.
We felt like we had an advantage with Jeremiah on that shot. And, we talked about it all week. We really hadn't thrown one all game. And it was like, you know what, game on the line, let's go. Let's just be aggressive. And I just thought to myself, you only get one national championship. You only get one opportunity, a year to do this. Let's just lay it on the line and put it out there and be aggressive. And that's what we did.
Yeah, 3rd and long, and they were aggressive. Notre Dame would have gotten the ball back. They'd have had about 2 minutes to go, maybe. We could have had a dramatic finish. Stat of the day brought to you by Panini America, the official trading cards of the Dan Patrick Show. First hour of the program brought to you by Rapid Radios, the official walkie-talkie for the Dan Patrick Show. Instant push-to-talk offering national LTE coverage. No subscriptions ever. Perfect for instant contact with your friends. And you can go to rapidradios.com, 60% off and free shipping. All right, Seton, poll question for hour one is going to be...
Okay, well, we've got one from Marvin. We've got a bunch from Todd.
Ooh.
Paul has checked in. Where would you like to start, Dan?
I'm going to go Marvin because it's rare when Marvin offers up something poll question-wise.
If you're an Ohio State fan, you'd rather lose to Michigan but win a national title or beat Michigan and lose in the college football playoffs.
I think this is crazy that there are fans.
Yes.
It's so important to beat Michigan. That has been your identity. And, yeah, we won a national title, but you need to beat Michigan. If you said to Ohio State fans, you're going to lose again to Michigan next year, but you're going to play for the national championship, you have to play for a national championship.
You would think.
You would.
You would think.
But, fan bases, the old school fan base, how important it was. Because it used to be if you lost that game, you weren't playing for a national championship. That was the importance of it. Now with the 12-team playoff, 14-team playoff, 16-team playoff, okay, you lose bragging rights there. But, man, that national title, that'll cure everything. That's the great elixir, a national title. Yes, Paulie.
I have an idea. I'm going to present it to you specifically because you know Ohio State and the history.
Okay.
Today is the day to start de-emphasizing the Michigan game going forward. You are the national title holders. You're on full scholarship now going forward. You've got the big payroll. Start using the word Michigan when you talk about them. Don't say the team up north. Start saying Michigan like you would say Ohio State, like you would say Purdue or Iowa or Wisconsin. Treat them all the same.
But why can't you have both? Why can't this still mean so much? But the national title is more important than this.
Because, like we've been saying, it's meaning a little too much the past decade. Start de-emphasizing it and making another game. Beat them. You're going to beat them or not, either way. But start saying Michigan, Iowa, Purdue. Step one.
Yeah. Won't happen.
Not the team up north.
Not going to happen. Just not.
Don't fight it.
I know. Just saying. Hey, I'm not one of those that would go, boy, I'd rather beat Michigan than win a national title. That's silly.
I want to follow up on that.
Okay.
There's no one who really believes that. That's more of a perception of the national media about Ohio State fans.
Maybe.
Because I can't imagine an Ohio State fan today going, you know what, if I could have a do-over this year, I would wax Michigan and take it on the chin to Notre Dame.
Yes.
Right. But like Michigan fans are somehow taking a little bit of a victory lap too, being like, yeah, but we beat the national champ, so I guess we really are, like, which is absurd. I get how tongue-in-cheek that is too, but these two fan bases are that crazy that somehow they find a way to take losses and make them wins depending on those circumstances.
Oh, if I'm Michigan, I'm taking a victory lap. Oh, heck yes. You know, you had a bad season, couldn't find a quarterback, first year without Jim Harbaugh, and you beat Ohio State at Ohio State. And this was brought up to me by a former Ohio State player last night. And he said, you know what changed? When Michigan tried to plant the flag. He said that changed this football team. All of a sudden, they in their minds became an us against the world, and they were underdogs somehow. And I said, okay. I mean, I'll factor that in, that all of a sudden Jack Sawyer's grabbing the Michigan flag and throwing it away, and now all of a sudden there's a different purpose with Ohio State. Sure, okay. I mean, if you feel that was a seismic shift with this team, they became a little bit more, I don't know, together. But there's so much talent there. That's why, you know, when we look at Ohio State, it's hard to say that they were an underdog. I mean, they're incredible. You know, you poached guys from around the country. You spent over $20 million. I mean, you should be great. The fact that you couldn't come up with an offense against Michigan, that was what was mind-boggling here. I know you lose to Oregon, but that was a close game at Oregon. This was a great team. Yes, Marvin.
So last night, Ohio State was David, not Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Just making sure.
No. Well, David got knocked down. David didn't have a slingshot. And then all of a sudden, David had a shotgun. And then you're like, here comes David. And David's going to put some heat on Ohio State. But Ohio State was the better team. Can't imagine that somebody's going, yeah, but we better beat Michigan next year. I don't know if there's pressure on Ryan Day. And once again, I grew up in this environment. I grew up in Ohio. I understand that feeling when Michigan would beat Ohio State and it ruined your college football season. But I can't imagine somebody, like next year, if Ohio State doesn't beat Michigan, that Ryan Day is all of a sudden going to be on the hot seat again. Are we reheating Ryan Day?
Defrosting?
Yes. Yeah.
How in the world can that even be a conversation today?
Trust me. We get to next season, and if that happens, then we will be discussing that. People will discuss that about Ryan Day. Rick Neuheisel a little bit later on, and I got a couple of questions for him, and I have great respect for Rick, one of the smartest college football guys I know. I'm watching Jeremiah Smith, and he's a freshman. If I said, let's say the Patriots, you can have Travis Hunter or Jeremiah Smith, who would you take with that second pick overall? Is that what it is? Who would you take? Because you got a two-way star, or you have this guy who's great. So we'll talk to Neuheisel. Also, who is more likely to go to the NFL first, Ryan Day or Marcus Freeman? How about that? Patriots have the fourth pick here. So we'll talk to Rick Neuheisel a little bit later on. Yes, Paulie.
I was thinking about NIL and Jeremiah Smith as a freshman. What is his retention fee to stay at Ohio State?
But if you're Georgia, like you at least have to, you won a national title at Ohio State. So they can't be that mad if you say, you know what, I got to do something for my family now. I'm a freshman. If you say I I mean, I'd at least kick the tires on it. Just say, how much am I worth? How much am I worth? I don't know. I mean, is he worth what a quarterback's worth? I'd say yes. My surprise is in the previous game.
Everybody back here.
But my surprise is against Texas. I think he had 3 targets. I mean, that to me is criminal. I'd get him the ball no matter what. Like there's certain players where you go, I'm going to devise things to get you the ball. You have Chip Kelly. Devise something. And that's what amazed me. Oh, we'll use him as a decoy. Nah, let's just use him as the best player on the field. They went to him last night. I still would have gone to him more. Notre Dame plays man coverage. I would have gone to him, and I would have kept going to him until they put 2 guys on him, and then I'd take advantage elsewhere. Yeah, Paul.
I know all is well in Ohio State land today, but let's say Jeremiah Smith doesn't catch that ball or they target someone else. Notre Dame gets the ball back and sends us to overtime. I know it's unlikely, but the math was there that Notre Dame can win that. Jeremiah Smith had 1 second half target.
I don't get that.
I was sitting there thinking about the downside.
I don't get that.
And I was like, if Ohio State loses this game, it's going to be catastrophic if their star player had 1 or fewer targets in the second half.
I don't understand it. I'm sure there's a lot of smarter people than me that could tell me, but I have to get him the ball. Have to. Like, remarkable though. I mean, when they did go to him, he made the great catch, and it was man coverage. All right, yes, Marvin.
Sorry, one more thing.
Yes.
Is it too early to play the career salary game with Jeremiah Smith?
You should change the S and put a $sign through it.
Yeah. What's he worth? $10 million? Is that fair? I mean, quarterbacks get $6-7 million. There's nobody like him in the country. I'm sure Ohio State fans hate hearing about. What if you're Michigan? What if you're Michigan and you go, hey, how much we got in the collective? Hey, can you call Larry Ellison again? One of the 5 richest people in the world and a booster there at Notre Dame, where his wife went to Michigan. Hey, Larry, we need $10 million. What for? Jeremiah Smith. Oh, yeah, okay. Yes, Paulie.
I have on3.com, their NIL valuations, and they're very spot on. Arch Manning is number 1. Carson Beck, number 2. Jeremiah Smith, the wide receiver, is number 3. His NIL valuation is $4 to $5 million. He's the only non-quarterback in the top 12.
Yeah. Well, what's he worth now? All right, 877-3DP show. We'll get to other possible poll questions. Yes, Todd?
What would be a reasonable number to leave one school for your arch rivals where you can feel comfortable with that and not get destroyed if you care about your social following, what people think of you?
I would not go to Michigan. I'd go south. And he's from Florida. I'd go south.
Well, if Michigan gave you like $3-4 million more, is that enough? And you're not getting that money anywhere else for whatever reason?
I think somebody's going to match the offer. But I'd be curious, what is it costing Ohio State to keep him? And does anybody reach out to him or one of his middlemen or agents or whatever?